Hey everyone, it's Adam J. Nurse Numismatic here, and I am super excited. I was on a live stream this morning and went through a whole bunch of coins and silver and stuff that I got from my mom. And there were a couple things in there that I wasn't really sure about the authenticity of, or I knew straight up that they were not authentic, that they were fakes. So I'm going to go through a little bit of what you can do and what I've done with these to determine what is real and what is a fake. Obviously, the best way to be sure is on a high end Sigma device or with some of the more high tech testing devices. But most people don't have those at home. Usually, you can bring things into your local coin shop, and they should hopefully be able to do some more testing for you to make sure. So, in this day and age, super important to verify that everything you have is genuine. I'm going to show you some of the simpler ways. In general, if these tests fail, if they say that it's fake, it's definitely fake. If these tests seem like, oh, it's probably real, then you're going to want to take it in and get it verified for sure. So here we go. So the first thing that came across my radar as we were going through the supplies was this piece here. So it's in this holder. It says it is 1 troy ounce of fine silver round. And looking at it, I had some things that raised some questions for me. So first of all, I'm just going to take it out of the holder so we can look at it a little more closely. Um, so starting off, we have this coin or round that appears to be, I did some digging, it appears to be modeled after a $10 gold coin from 1907. This quite obviously is not gold. It's in a holder that says silver. So I have determined this is not genuine. It is not silver. So here's a few of the first telltale signs that this is not silver. We have the case that says it's a 1 troy ounce silver round. So one of the very first things we can do is we can put it on the scale and take a look at how much does it weigh. So I have my scale measuring in grams right now, and it comes in at 22.77 grams. So it's not an ounce. 22 an ounce would be 31.2 grams. So couple red flags on this already. Now, one of the other tests we can do, you really should use a rare earth magnet, but just any kind of little strong magnet can be a decent test. And starting off, so this is not attracted to a magnet. So the magnet test did not work to point out that this was a fake or not real coin. Um, sometimes these silver rounds could be made to replicate, a gold coin. So that isn't, a terribly red, large red flag at this point. Um, but the fact that it doesn't say, 3 nines fine or anything on there, that would be a red flag on one of the like generic silver rounds that are made to replicate an existing or real coin. And of course, one of the big red flags here is in the headband. It says Libert. It is missing a Y. So, pretty interesting item here. Comparing it to the back, not terribly not a terribly bad replica, but definitely some of the details in the eagle's wings just don't look like something that was minted at the U.S. Mint or appear the same as the genuine coin. Um, Finally, another thing we can do, and this does work better if you have something that is very clearly trying to be a known coin, um, which I'll show you a little bit later. But we can do a ping test. So this coin here is almost the exact same size as a silver piece dollar, which is a 90% silver coin. Same thickness here, very same thickness, um, like exact diameter. So that is going to be a good reference coin to use with a ping test if we think this is maybe 90% silver. Um, the other thing when we go to look at the weight on things, if we put this piece dollar on there, so exact same dimensions, this is 26.6 grams, and this one is again that 22.77. So 4 grams difference in a coin that really has the exact same dimensions means the density is different. Um, so that again would be a tell that this is not a 90% silver coin, certainly. Um, we can also just put the information from this coin into a ping testing app and test it that way as well. So, how does a ping test work? Basically, you can either try to like balance this coin on your finger and hit it with something to get it to ping, or you can pick up one of these cheap little ping tester holders, which I prefer, just because it's a little more stable. And then you just hold the coin like this and you go ahead and you hit it. So, what does that sound like? Let's bring my microphone down here so you can hear that. All right, so then let's take a listen to what the piece dollar sounds like. Wow, that is a significant difference. There's that nice ring in it. Okay, go back to this one real quick. Yeah, that doesn't have that nice silver ring to it. Now, to be a little more exact than just going by what you hear in your ears, we can actually there's a number of ping test apps available that can do the listening for you. So the one I have here is this Precious Coin Tester. I've tested this app out. It seems to work pretty good. Let me just get this pulled up. Okay. So we've got this here. Now you can select the coin specifically that you want to test. But if it's not a known coin, you can enter your info manually. It gives you a little warning here that it is not going to be as precise. So let's say we think this is a 90% silver. The weight was 22.77 grams, and the diameter on this is exactly the same as a piece dollar. So I don't have a caliper to measure that diameter, but I know it's just the same as a piece dollar. So I'm just going to grab the diameter of our piece dollars, which is 38.1 millimeters. And now that I have all that info in there, I check that it's a silver coin. Grab this coin, and we will hit check. And stop. It's going to analyze that sound, and our result is 0 out of 3 bad. Okay, so now if we go with that 90%, change the weight to what we have for our piece dollar, which was the 26.68 grams, which is pretty close to what a peace dollar should be, 26.73. But of course, this is worn a bit, so that makes sense. 26.68. And then that 38.1 diameter. I'm going to set this down again. I'm going to put the peace dollar in the checker here. Okay. There we go. Hit check. And stop. So now on that peace dollar, it has given me a 2 out of 3 good. It's kind of hard to see that there, but you can. So 2 out of 3 stars, good. Now when we enter our details manually in here, it only gives us 2 out of 3 stars. If I go in and change this to the actual peace dollar setting, and I did it with this one, it gives me 3 out of 3 stars. So just a kind of simple, quick way. So this is certainly not 90% silver. We can mess around with this, try some other things. I'll put that 22.77 back in there. Let's just see if it's 3 nines fine. 99.9 in the fineness there. Grab our ping tester again and hit check. Stop. And again, it continues to say 0 out of 3, bad. So this is not anything authentic. This is not silver. There's just no way with all of the red flags in it. So unfortunately, we do not have 1 troy ounce of 3 nines fine silver round. All right, next up, I have this 1891 quote-unquote slabbed Morgan. So I knew right away that this was fake because it was purchased on a certain online app for just a couple dollars. And that tried and true rule of if it is too good to be true, it is too good to be true was in play. But we'll look at it anyway. Because I think we want to take a look at what are the red flags and why this is a fake. So, because, you might find somebody who's got this and trying to sell it to you for, 30, 40 bucks or more, and it may not seem too good to be true. So, first of all, when we look at this slab, it's got the little icon there and appears to be impersonating an NGC slab from the Numismatic Guarantee Company, but it doesn't take a major expert to point out the issues with that. I have an authentic NGC slab here. So first of all, this slab doesn't say NGC or Numismatic Guarantee or any type of grading company on it here at all. One of the other things I noticed right away, it certainly doesn't have the nice new holographic authenticity label on the back like this one does. And then one of the other things I noticed looking at this, so it appears to be an 1891 Morgan, and when we take a look at the reverse, we can see on here that it has an O mint mark. So if this were authentic, certainly it would say 1891 O up there, so it's not even labeled correctly, claiming it's an MS68, so we'll take a look at that in a bit. And then the other thing about this fake slab that really was the biggest red flag right away is if you look right up here, this slab can be opened. So this is clearly not a slab. Grading slabs from NGC, PCGS, really any reputable grading company are not going to just come apart like this. So this is truly a decorative holder for this. So now let's actually look at the coin itself. Now, of course, if this were actually an MS68 1891 Morgan, I wouldn't be prying it out of here or potentially marring it or handling it. Um, but here's what we have. So 1891 Morgan, again, one of our quickest, easiest ways of testing something right off the bat is going to be to put it on the scale. You can pick these scales up on Amazon or elsewhere for not too much money. So we can look in our red book or online and find out that a Morgan dollar is supposed to weigh 26.73 grams. So we're going to go ahead and put that on the scale there and see what we come up with. So right off the bat, the weight is wrong on this thing, 22.47. Not the expected weight. It's off by over 4 grams. That's pretty significant. Now, as I started actually looking at this coin, um, this was actually a pretty convincing fake. So I don't have an 1891 O Morgan in this kind of condition, but I do have a genuine 1891 O Morgan in a much worse condition. And one of the best ways to identify a fake coin often is by just looking at it, comparing it to the real thing. So look up, pictures from NGC of a legitimate 1891 Ohm Morgan. However, in this case, like the details on this, it's actually, in my opinion, a pretty good fake. Like there's some inconsistencies in like the shaping of the eagle's head, but overall one of the better looking fakes that I have seen. So now with we'll do our authentic Morgan first. Go ahead and bring this microphone back down. Oh, nice silver ring to that. And then we'll put the fake in here. Definitely a different sound. Now, of course, you may not know exactly what that Morgan should sound like, but on here I do have on this ping test app, I'll pull up a silver Morgan dollar, and we can go ahead and test this here. So we'll hit our check button. Give it a few rings. There we go. 0 out of 3. Bad. And we'll do the authentic Morgan just for good measure. Hit our check button. And on this one, we get a 2 out of 3 good. We could get a 3 out of 3 on this because we are using the legitimate Morgan, but this is, in pretty rough shape, which can affect the resonance of it slightly. So 2 out of 3, I'm comfortable with that. It weighs the right amount, so I do know that this is an authentic Morgan dollar here. Also, I know that I got it from a reputable place. So all those things come together to give you confidence in your coins and silver being authentic. And then finally, I have this right here. So this one also came from an online retailer for just a buck or two. So again, that too good to be true rule is in play. It also came in a little baggie like this that says made in China on it. So one thing to know about American Silver Eagles is they are not made in China. And then when we flip it around to the reverse, there's one big glaring problem back here. This says 1 ounce fine silver, one bolos or boyos. That should say, if it were an ASE, it should say $1 because that is what the ASE is. It is a $1 coin from the US Mint. So big, big, obvious way of catching that fake right there. I did mention before, often looking at the edge, at the reading on the edge of a coin is a great way. And again, this one is a great example of that. The readed edge on here is just hideous. It's just not good at all. We can see the readed edge of the authentic one on the right side of the screen. And then this one is a 2009. So it does not have the new missing read feature, security feature in it in the authentic one. Um, but if this were actually a 2023 proof ASE, it would be missing one read as an added security feature. And this one is, I don't know, this one's kind of missing all of its reads. So um, and then this one here, back again to some of our simpler tests. If we put this on the scale, it's an ASE, so it's supposed to be 1 ounce of fine silver. It says 1 ounce of fine silver right on it. And we throw this on the scale and we get 24 grams. 24 grams is not a troy ounce. Again, another simple quick test with a magnet. This thing sticks right to this magnet. So there is no way that's authentic. There is something strongly magnetic in there. In the authentic ASE, no attraction to this magnet at all. And then finally, I'm not going to pull it up in the app, but I did test it in the app on the ping test, and we'll just let you hear the difference. Here is the authentic ASE. And here is the fake. Yeah, not even close. This thing sounds like a cheap piece of tin. Definitely a fake. So, I just wanted to take a few minutes to go through some of this, point some things out. When I initially saw this one, I really didn't know what it was trying to be, whether it was silver, whether it wasn't, but it was not, of course. So here we are. Bummed that it isn't, because it's always nice to find some cool, unique silver in my totes or in my collection. But certainly would rather be safe than sorry. So again, if you are finding, if you get some silver or you're thinking about buying something from, a less than reputable source, please make sure that you do some initial testing just to protect yourself right off the bat. But then, certainly before making any significant purchases or trying to sell or trade your supposed silver or items for something else, please get them verified by a reputable coin dealer, coin shop. Most, like I said, I think most coin shops will let you bring your stuff in. There may be a small charge, especially if you're bringing a lot of stuff in. But even with some of these tests that I talked about today, there are still really good fakes out there that can get by these more simple tests, and you'll say, boy, I'm pretty sure that is authentic. And unless you get it tested or you're purchasing it from a very, very reputable source, there's no way to know. Of course, investing in a Sigma or something like that for yourself can add some increased levels of confidence in that. But most of us don't have one of those around. So figured hopefully this video helps somebody go ahead and give a shout out in the comments if there's anything else you noticed on the coins here as we were looking through them, or any, share any fun stories or maybe not so fun stories. The goal, I think of our whole community here is to come together and learn from each other and share experiences. So I hope that this video helped one person get at least, a basic idea of what to start looking for when trying to figure out if a coin is real or not. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. For now, I'm signing off. This is Adam J, Nurse Numismatic. Keep yourself safe out there. Know what you're buying, what you're getting into, and we will see you in the streams.